Hi guys, I am Samandar Singh from Department of Mechanical Engineering, RA College of Engineering and Information Technology, Kukas, Jaipur. Today's topic is reciprocating pump. The pump in which mechanical energy is converted into hydraulic energy by sucking the liquid into cylinder in which a piston is reciprocating, which exert the thrust on the liquid and increase its hydraulic energy. The pump is known as reciprocating pump. There are main parts of the reciprocating are: first is cylinder, which include the piston rod, connecting rod and a crank. Second is suction pipe, third is delivery pipe, fourth is suction valve and fifth is delivery valve. The line diagram of reciprocating pump is shown in the figure, which include at right hand side the crank that is driven by the electric motor, having the crank connected with the connecting rod, and connecting rod is connected to the piston. The piston makes the reciprocating motion inside the cylinder. The mechanism used to convert the rotation into the reciprocating motion. On left hand side we have the HS and HD. These are the head at suction side and HD is head at delivery side. Now let me discuss about the main parts of the reciprocating pump. The working of the reciprocating pump. The figure shows a single acting pump which consists of a piston which moves toward and backward in a closed fitting cylinder. The movement of the piston is obtained by connecting the piston rod to crank by means of a connecting rod. The crank is rotated by means of an electric motor. The suction and delivery pipe with suction valve and the delivery valve are one-way valve or non-return valves which allow the water to flow in one direction only. Suction valve allow the water from suction pipe to the into the cylinder, while the delivery valve allow the water from cylinder to the delivery pipe only. When the crank starts rotating, the piston moves to and fro in the cylinder, and considering that the crank is at a position A, the piston is at the extreme left position in the cylinder. As the crank rotates from A to C, from 0 degree to 180 degree, the piston is moving right in the cylinder. The movement of the piston towards right create a partial vacuum in the cylinder, but on the surface of the liquid in the some atmospheric pressure is acting, which is more than the pressure inside the cylinder. Therefore, the liquid forced in the suction pipe from the sump. The liquid opens the suction valve and enter the cylinder. When piston is rotating from C to A, crank is rotating from point C to A from 180 degree to 360 degree. The piston moves from right hand side the piston cylinder toward the left. The movement of the piston towards left increase the pressure of the liquid inside the cylinder more than the atmospheric pressure. Hence the suction valve closed and the delivery valve opens. The liquid is forced into the delivery pipe and is raised to a required height. That is called pressure head. Now there are different calculations to be made in while discussing the reciprocating pump. First, discharge through a reciprocating pump. Let D the cylinder diameter, E the cross sectional area of the piston or cylinder, that is pi by 4 d square. R is the crank radius. N is the RPM of the crank. L is the length of the stroke, that is 2R. HS is the height of the axis of the cylinder from the water surface in the sum. HD the height of the delivered output above the cylinder axis, that are in terms of the suction head and delivery head respectively. Then the volume of water delivered in one revolution or discharge of water in one revolution equal to the area into the stroke length, that is the stroke volume, that is equal to A into L. But the number of revolution per second equal to N by 60. So the discharge of the pump per second equal to Q equal to discharge in one revolution into number of revolution per second, that is Q equal to A into L into N by 60, that is calculated as ALN upon 60. Now weight of the water delivered per second can be calculated by multiplying the rho g, that is rho g into ALN upon 60. Work done by the reciprocating pump. Work done per second equal to the weight of the water lifted per second into total height through which the water is lifted, that can be calculated as W into HS plus HD, where HS plus HD is the total height through which the water lifted from the sump to delivery pipe. But we know that W equal to rho g ALN upon 60, that in previous equation we have obtained. So work done per second can be calculated as rho g ALN upon 60 HS plus HD. Now power required driving the pump in kilowatt can be calculated work done per second by dividing by 1000, that is in kilowatt, that is rho g ALN into HS plus HD upon 60 into 1000. Now discharge, work done and power required to drive a double acting pump. First discuss about the working of the double acting pump. There are two-way operating of the pump. Either piston is moving forward or backward. In both the cases, suction can take place either of one side of the piston. Accordingly, the delivery can will take place respectively to the delivery valve through the delivery valve. Now first consider the piston as leftmost position. As the piston moves from left to right, there is create the partial suction at left hand side, and the suction valve at left hand side opens while the delivery valve remains closed. Simultaneously, as the pressure raises towards the right, that will close the suction valve of the right and open the delivery valve. Similarly, when the piston moves from right hand to left hand side, the partial vacuum create towards the right, and the suction valve becomes open through the movement flow of the water or liquid, while the delivery valve of the right hand side will remains closed. As the pressure rises toward the left, again the suction valve will become closed. And the delivery valve opens. The discharge water takes place through the delivery valve at left hand side. Thus, the one complete revolution of the crank, there are two delivery strokes, and water is delivered to the pipe by the pump during these two delivery strokes. Now the calculations. Let capital D the diameter of the piston, small d the diameter of the piston rod. Then the area of one side of the piston is equal to A pi by 4 d square. Other side will be equal to the pi by 4 d square minus pi by 4 small d square. Therefore, the volume of the water delivered in one revolution of the crank can be calculated as the area into length of the stroke plus A1 into length of the stroke, that is area of the piston or cylinder and area of the connecting rod, piston rod, that is A equal to volume equal to A into L1 plus L into A1 plus A2, or simply we can get pi by 4 d square plus pi by 4 d square minus d square into L. Discharge of the pump per second can be calculated as volume of water delivered in 1 revolution per second, that in terms of number of revolution per second. Therefore, Q equal to pi by 4 capital D square plus pi by 4 capital D square minus small d square into L into n by 16. If D is neglected, that is very small as compared to the diameter of the piston, we can say that the discharge equal to pi by 4 d square plus pi by 4 d square into L into n by 16. By simple calculation, we can get the discharge equal to twice of the pi by 4 d square into L into n by 60, or finally we can get Q equal to 2 ELN upon 60. Work done and power required to drive a double acting pump. Work done per second equal to weight of the water delivered into total height, that is rho g into discharge per second into total height. Rho g discharge per second, that is 2 ELN upon 60, total height, that is HS plus HD, that is equal to 2 ELN upon 60 into HS plus HD. Slip of the reciprocating pump. The slip of the pump is defined as the difference between the theoretical discharge and the actual discharge of the pump. The discharge of a single acting pump and double acting pump are theoretical discharge. The actual discharge of the pump is less than the theoretical discharge, and actual discharge is known as the slip of the, and the difference is known as the slip of the pump. Hence, the slip equal to Q theoretical minus Q actual. It is expressed in terms of the percentage slip, that can be calculated Q theoretical minus Q actual upon Q theoretical into 100. That can be expressed as 1 minus CD into 100. CD is the ratio of the Q actual upon Q theoretical, or simply coefficient of the discharge. Negative slip of the reciprocating pump. The slip is equal to the difference of the theoretical discharge and the actual discharge. If actual discharge is more than the theoretical discharge, the slip of the pump will become negative. In that case, the slip of the pump is known as negative slip, and negative slip occurs when the delivery pipe is short, suction pipe is long, and the pump is running at high speed. Velocity and acceleration of the piston. The velocity of and acceleration of the piston can be discussed by the calculation. The line diagram of the single acting reciprocating pump is shown in figure. By considering the position of the crank instantaneously at point E with angle of theta at a distance of x from the A, that is A point on the circumference of the circle made by the crank, let A is the area of the cylinder, small is the area of the pipe, L is the length of the pipe, R is the radius of crank. In the beginning, the crank is at A and the piston is in the cylinder is at a position. The crank is rotating with an angular velocity omega, let in time t seconds. The crank turns through an angle theta from A. The displacement of the piston in time t is x. Now Q angle turned by the crank in the radians in second s equal to Q equal omega into t. The discharge x travelled by the piston is given as the x equal to distance to AF, that is calculated as r minus cos omega t. X equal to r minus r cos omega t. The velocity can be calculated by differentiating the distance equation with respect to time, that is v equal to dx upon dt, and we can say r is the constant. The first term becomes 0 and the second terms having the t terms, that is minus r into minus sin omega t into omega, that is v equal to r omega sin omega t. From the continuity equation, the volume of water flowing into the cylinder per second equal to the volume of water flowing from the pipe per second equal to the velocity of the water in the cylinder, area of the cylinder equal to the velocity of water in pipe area of the pipe. Now continue to equation A into V, that is area into velocity, equal to small v into small a, and we can say VA equal to VA, that are in terms of capital and small. Now capital V equal to small v equal to capital V upon capital A into A, or we can say that small v equal to A upon D omega r into sin omega t. Acceleration of the water in the pipe dV upon dt equal to A by D omega square r into cos omega t. The mass of the water in the pipe equal to rho into volume of the water in the pipe, the rho AL. The force required by accelerating the water in the pipe, the mass of the water in the pipe into acceleration of the water in the pipe, that is rho AL into A upon A omega square r cos omega t. The intensity of the pressure due to the acceleration, the force required to accelerate the water pipe area rho A into L A by A omega square r cos omega t, that can be calculated rho into L A by A omega square cos omega t. The pressure head HA due to the acceleration equal to the intensity of the pressure due to the acceleration upon weight density of the liquid, that is whole equation. Above equation can be divided by rho into G. Rho cancel out, or we can say the L upon G into A upon small a omega square r cos theta or cos omega t. Therefore the pressure head due to the acceleration in the suction and delivery pipes is obtained from the above equation. At suction side head is equal to L S upon G A upon A S into omega square cos theta. Similarly AD equal to the LD upon G into A upon AD into omega square r cos theta. When theta is 0, we can say the HAS equal to the L upon G into A upon A omega square r. When theta equal to 90, the head becomes 0, and when theta equal to 180, that head becomes negative value, that is L upon G minus of L upon G into A upon A omega square r. Thus we can say the maximum pressure head due to the acceleration is equal to L upon G A upon A into omega square r. Now effect of variation of the velocity on the friction in the suction and delivery pipe. The velocity of water in the suction or delivery pipe is given by the equation V equal to A upon A omega r sin omega t, or A upon A omega square omega into r into sin theta. The loss of head due to the friction is given by HF equal to 4 FLV square upon twice of G into D. HF equal to 4FL upon 2GD into A upon A omega r into sin theta square. That is the terms of V, as we discussed in above equation. For the suction and the delivery pipe, the above equation is HFS equal to 4FLS upon 2GDS into A by AS sin omega r into sin theta whole square. Similarly, S is replaced by the D, that is 4F LD upon rho G D D into A upon AD omega r into sin theta का whole square. The equation can be discussed with the effect of the theta, that is when theta equal to 0 sin theta equal to 0 and the loss is equal to 0 HF. When theta equal to 90 sin theta equal becomes the 1, and we can say the losses due to friction becomes the highest, that is 4FL upon 2GD into A upon A into omega square का omega r का whole square. Now further we can discuss with the indicated diagram of the reciprocating pump. Indicated diagram, it is defined for a reciprocating pump as the graph between the pressure head in the cylinder and the distance traveled by the piston from inner dead center for one complete revolution of the crank. This is the indicated diagram of the reciprocating pump, having the different variables and values like delivery stroke, suction stroke, stroke length, discharge head, suction head, pressure head and stroke length, etc. Work done by the pump per second equal to rho g ELN upon 60 HS plus HD, as we have discussed earlier. Now we can say that equal to K into L into HS plus HD into L into HS plus HD, where the K is the rho g ELN upon 60, that is remains constant. During the suction stroke, we can say the pressure head in the cylinder is constant and equal to the suction head HS, which is below the atmospheric pressure H atmospheric by height of HS. Similarly, during the delivery stroke, the pressure head in the cylinder is constant and equal to the delivery head HD. Now the effect of the accretion in the suction and delivery pipes on the indicated diagram. The effect of the accretion can be easily shown by the indicated diagram. Let us change the shape of the indicated diagram. We can say the HES equal to LS upon G into E upon AS into omega square R cos theta. We can discuss the changes with respect to the change in the theta. When theta equal to 0, cos theta becomes 1, or we can say HES equal to the maximum, and which is equal to the LS upon G into A upon AS into omega square R. When theta equal to 90, cos theta becomes 0, and we can say HS equal to 0. When again theta equal to 180, cos theta becomes minus 1, and we can say HAS equal to minus of LS upon G into A upon AS into omega square R. From this indicated diagram, we can say the delivery values, or the delivery side of the indicated diagram becomes toward the upward at right hand side, and the suction becomes lower at the theoretically we have decided the suction head or suction pressure. The pressure head inside the cylinder during the suction stroke will not be equal to the HS. It will be equal to the sum of the HS and the HES. At the beginning of the suction stroke, theta equal to 0, H has a positive value, and hence the pressure head in the cylinder will be HS plus HES. Below the atmospheric pressure head, at the middle of the suction stroke, theta equal to 90 and HES equal to 0. Hence the pressure head in the cylinder head will be HES, HS below the atmospheric pressure head. At the middle of the suction stroke, theta equal to 90 and HES equal to 0, and the hence pressure head in the cylinder will be the HS below the atmospheric pressure head. Similarly, the indicated diagram for the delivery stroke can be drawn. At the beginning of the delivery stroke, the head is positive, and thus hence the pressure head in the cylinder will be HD minus HED above the atmospheric pressure head. At the middle of the delivery stroke, HED equal to 0, hence the pressure head in the cylinder is equal to the HD above the atmospheric pressure head. At the end of delivery stroke, HED is negative, and hence the pressure in the cylinder will be HD minus HED above the atmospheric pressure head. Thus the indicated diagram for the delivery stroke is represented by the line C dash H D dash. Also the area of C dash H, that is area of the D dash H. Now the effect of the friction in the suction and delivery pipe on indicated diagram. The loss of the head due to the friction in the suction and delivery pipe is given by the following equation: HFS equal to 4FLS upon ds into 2g into E upon AS omega r into sin theta whole square. Similarly, HFD equal to 4FLD upon dd into 2g into E upon ED into omega r sin theta whole square. From the above equation, the variation of HFS and HFD is parabolic with the theta during the suction and delivery stroke. The pressure head inside the cylinder will change with the given equations. First point, at the beginning of the suction and the delivery stroke, theta equal to 0, hence the sin theta equal to 0, that means HFS and HFD equal to 0. At the middle of the suction, the delivery stroke is 90, theta equal to 90, hence the sin theta becomes 1. This means the HFS and HFD will be maximum, and that equal to 4FLS upon ds into 2g into E upon ES omega r का whole square, and HFD equal to 4FLD upon DD into 2g into E upon ED into omega square का whole square. Third point, at the end of the suction and the delivery stroke theta equal to 180, and hence sin theta becomes 0 again. Therefore HFS and HFD becomes 0. Thank you.